All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Hetland here, the Rodeo Roundup podcast, Google Live. It's going to be an awesome time, about 30 minutes. And my guest tonight, the fan exemption that was announced for the RFD-TV The American, Amberley Snyder. Amberley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. I am so glad to be here.
Man, what a story you have had from still being, a young barrel racer, but you've had quite the adversity coming up, and it all started with something that we had talked about earlier in the Rodeo Roundup, but your truck accident. So talk to us a little bit about that and about how that's made you change your outlook on life.
So 5 years ago, I was on my way to Denver, Colorado for the stock show, and I was involved in a rollover truck accident where I was ejected from my truck and it left me paralyzed from the waist down. So that has definitely been a life challenge that you don't plan on happening. It's not really what you foresee in your life, but I've been able to have that. I don't know, I guess I've been trying to embrace it where, even though that it's not the circumstance that I planned on, I can still live the life that I want to have and continue to rodeo even though I'm in a wheelchair.
Absolutely, and and you're continuing the rodeo and making a name, but not only rodeo and way of life, but getting up and down the road and getting horses loaded and everything. But you have quite the special little setup that helps you stay in your saddle. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I do. I have a seatbelt on my saddle, and that's what holds me in. That's the main strap that I have on both of my barrel saddle and my rope saddle. So I have a seatbelt that does that. I have Velcro straps that go around my legs, and those hold my legs just like kind of still. They still move a little bit. If you watch me and you didn't know my situation, it looks like I'm still kicking, but it's holding them so that they're in a motion that it doesn't freak my horse out. And then I have another nylon strap that comes across my other hip, which helps me stay just completely centered. That's the whole goal of all the straps that I have, is just to hold me center so that I can just focus on my riding and not have to worry about, sliding or moving or falling off.
Absolutely, and one of the great things about this Google Hangout is we actually get to have a live chat room. So when questions come in, we're going to deviate away from us and let the fans ask you some questions if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. And let's talk about, because you see everybody in rodeo, and it's really not known as an adaptive sport, but one great thing is you're so forthcoming and so on social media and talking about how your disability isn't making you any less of a cowgirl than anybody else, and that's really inspiring. What are the main differences, other than what everybody obviously knows, but coming to a big rodeo like the American coming up in 2 short weeks in a wheelchair and having to do everything that's a little bit harder for you to do other than the normal barrel racers?
It definitely is. The whole entire, even preparing for the American is different for me than it is for somebody else. I've been trying to get my horse back into shape. He'd had a break after my college rodeo season in the fall, so I've been getting him back into shape and getting myself back into shape. I didn't realize how much the break had affected me. I was just settling and went to pull myself on my horse the other day, and it was definitely harder than what it had been in the fall. I just hadn't realized how weak that my arms had come not doing horse chores every day. So, I'm getting myself ready as well as my horse ready, and going to the American and competing against world champions and idols, and I mean these are legends that I'm going in the arena with. It's pretty special. It's pretty special, and I'm so blessed to have that opportunity that I get to go in and run with the people that I've looked up to.
Absolutely, and and we talk about the legends that you had mentioned and everything else, but not only the legends, but Lynn, you beat out a ton of rodeo famed athletes for the fan exemption of the American. That's got to be something special. Tell us about what that made you feel like and what your nerves and your mindset is coming into probably the largest stadium in the history of any professional sport, Jerry Jones House, AT&T Stadium.
You know, I don't think it really hit me until I was sitting with Fallon Taylor and Shane Hanchey for on RFD-TV when we made the announcement of me being the fan exemption, and Fallon says, you know, I can't wait to run with you in a couple weeks, and I just thought, oh my gosh, that's really happening. I mean, I'm really running against Fallon Taylor, the world champion, in a couple weeks. So that made me nervous, definitely nervous. I'm so excited, but I am nervous. I just keep praying that power has some wings that day.
Absolutely, and you know, and going into AT&T Cowboy Stadium, have you ever been to any venue that big running in front of 20-some thousand fans for the fastest lap around a cloverleaf pattern that you can make in your life?
Oh man, there's actually, if that whole stadium's full, they're planning on at least 80,000 people, and that is going to be incredible. I have never run in a crowd that big. We've run at a couple rodeos that were pretty big, but nothing that's been that huge. Like, I was trying to think the other day how I could maybe imitate the sound to my horse or the environment. I don't even think it's possible. Until we get down there, I don't think it's going to be possible to even fathom what that's going to sound like, how it's going to feel to be in there in front of all those people.
Absolutely, and you know, not only are you a very accomplished barrel racer, but we talk about your social media platforms, and you are so big on doing what's called Wheelchair Wednesdays, and it's so inspirational every week for those that follow you on Facebook and all your other social media platforms, that just to watch the struggles and the triumphs that you go through on an everyday basis. But one that I think, in my mind, from watching you, has been the most special to you is the one that you just posted a couple days ago, and that was the first time being able to load your horses by yourself and get your trailer hooked up.
Yeah, so I didn't, that one I haven't made a Wheelchair Wednesday about it yet because it was kind of just a testing run. I had college practice that night, and the people that I was meeting to go down, they were both busy at the time, so then I showed up early to my horses. So, I mean, I can saddle them both, so I just decided that's what I was going to do. So I got them both saddled, and then I still had some time, so I thought, well, I'll try and hook on the trailer. I haven't done that before because, I mean, in a tiny little bumper pull, you have to jump out, see if you're where you need to be, and then you have to jump back in and move. And so I just thought with my chair that was going to be so tricky. I did have to jump out a couple times. So by the time I was climbing in there at the end, like, I was like, hey, I'm nailing this because I don't want to jump in and out anymore. But it was cool to be able to get hooked on and then loading my horses. I have not attempted that with more than one. But I realized that if I swung the butt bar, the divider, hard enough in my two horse that I could be able to get it closed. And so then I was able to load my two horses and get them all loaded. And it was super freeing, like super exciting for me to be able to have those moments of triumph. And that was definitely one for me that I feel like, okay, I can get my horses saddled and I can get the trailer hooked on and I can get them loaded. Unloaded is a new adventure. I don't know how I'm going to do that quite yet because I can't reach the divider to get them out, but eventually I'll figure that out so that hopefully I can move forward with that as well.
You know, absolutely, and your whole trailer is adaptable, and we watch all the videos that you do, and you got your own wheelchair ramp and a nice trailer, but you have a team of people that come with you and provide all the support that you need. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you and who you're going to bring to the American.
I do. I have such a great support system. I mean, from my family to my sponsors to, I mean, I have for the American specifically, I have Andrea and Jeff Busby from Busby Quarter Horses. They are the ones that are totally behind me to go down there. And so between all of those people, you know, I couldn't trade my support system for anything. And I have the Lord to help me when I'm down and I'm discouraged. So going down to the American, I'm taking my mom. My mom's driving my horse down, actually. I can't go. I don't get to drive down until, well, I'm not driving. I'm flying down. I'm a student teacher right now, so I miss school. So I get to leave after school gets out on Thursday to go down, and I'll fly. But my mom's driving my horse down. My coach, Stacy Glaush, she's the one that taught me how to barrel race. She's coming down. And my little sister's flying with me. So I'm pretty excited to have them down there. My dad's flying in from spring training. He's a coach down there in spring training, so he's coming. He'll fly in the day of the American, and my sister will fly up from California as well. So I'm going to have quite a few of my family there. My brothers can't. They're at college with baseball, but I get to have quite a few of them there, and it means a lot that they're coming to support me.
Absolutely, and we actually have a question from one of our fans and one of your great followers, Rose from Iowa. She wants to know how you desensitize your horse into a big arena like that. If you have never run in a venue like that, how do you get your horse and your nerves working as one and calm down to make a great run?
That's an excellent question, Rose. So I am still in the process of trying to figure out how I'm going to do that exactly. I told my mom that when we do the introductions for the American that I want her to be standing down there in the arena so that he can hear the crowd, you know, cheer when we just do the introductions. I think then that way he'll get a feel for it. The good part about my Black Horse Power is that he knows his job. So he can be very distracted and have an attention span the size of a goldfish when we're not making a barrel run. But when we are making a barrel run, he really does know his job. So I'm just counting on him to go in there and make a run regardless of what anyone else is doing.
Perfect.
Go in there so and do the best that we can.
Absolutely. You know, and a question to kind of go off that is, if you weren't at the American for the first time last year, the setup of those arenas, it's a dual arena, and the setup of that alleyway for the barrel racers and the pattern itself is a little off-center. Have they given you any diagrams or sketches to kind of start to prepare yourself about how this pattern might be run a little bit differently?
No, they actually haven't sent me anything diagram-wise. We do get to have a time slot where we get to go in and work the pattern before the American. So I will be able to go in the arena and work in that environment and on that pattern. So my horse will be able to get a feel for it. I'm not super worried about it. You know, as long as I look where I want to go and I put my horse, you know, point my horse in that right direction, he's really good about listening. He's not one that really gets a lot of, like I said, he has an attention span problem outside of the barrel pattern, but when we get in there, he knows his job. So as long as I can get up in the alley and point him the direction I want him to go, we should be good from there.
Outstanding. And a question comes from Casey in Arizona right now. He is actually, we're going to kind of just have a little fun with Amberley Snyder right now. He's like, well, Amberley, I'm dateless for the prom. What do you think?
Oh, my heavens. When is prom? Let's put it that way. If I'm in town during your prom, I'll be there.
Oh, boy. So this might be a yes, so stay tuned. We're going to follow up on this story, Amberley. But, hey, you know, let's talk about another exciting announcement that came. Not only are you a fan exemption for the American, but you got quite the sweet little sponsorship deal a couple days ago that was just announced. And Cinch Pro Team has announced you as their next and newest member of the Cinch Rodeo team. That's got to be awesome. Well, it looks like there we go.
You're cutting out.
All right. The Cinch sponsorship. Are you there? Look, might be having some technical.
Okay,
there we go. All right,
better.
You got it.
So yeah,
right.
The Cinch team, they contacted me. Actually, they contacted me last summer, and wanted to know if I was interested in being a part of. Is that better?
Yep, that's better now. Yep.
Okay, so the Cinch team, they contacted me last year, and they asked me if I wanted to be a part of the team, but it was just officially announced that I am on it. So I'm so privileged, you know, so privileged and honored to be able to have such a huge company backing me, to have somebody that says that they believe in me and they want to be a part of this journey with me. So I'm super thrilled to have Cinch as one of my sponsors. I have a couple other sponsors as well. Best Ever Pads and RES Equine Boots and Pure Shield and BioCare Animal Products, which my horse gets fed, Miranda Care, and Embrace Victory. I have wonderful sponsors that completely back me up and support me in no matter what I'm doing.
You know, and that leads into one of the questions. Summer from Minnesota, she wanted to know what kind of feed and what kind of supplements is is your horse going through, and is there any changes leading up to such a big deal?
That I'm feeding my horse?
Yes. Are you there? There we go. Yep. There we go.
He's on Empower, and he's on Omaline 200 as well from Purina. He gets fed all of those different supplements. He's hard to keep weight on, which is why he's on soybean, but he's super picky and won't eat rice bran. So he's on all of those, and then he's on Mirinda Care Noni. He's on Mirinda Care Noni is what he gets fed. He also is on Lixotinic, and he is on a hyaluronic acid supplement called Relief Plus. So between all of those, my horse is pretty spoiled. He gets what he needs in order to go out and compete for me, and yeah, that's what he gets fed.
Fantastic. And you know, something that is really on the minds of a lot of people, you know, we talk about the Fallon Taylor that you were there, but we also talk about the Sherry Cervies, I mean, just a ton of ladies that you probably grew up idolizing, and that you grew up knowing their names, Lindsay Sears, who you beat out, and everything else. And does that add more nerves, or are you getting phone calls from these veterans of these big high-stake rodeos giving you advice and giving you, you know, pats on the back? And other than Fallon, which you already talked about, what other kind of response are you getting from the ladies that you're going to be running against?
I actually haven't heard from a lot of them. Lindsay Sears is sponsored by BioCare Animal Products with me, so I got the congratulations from her to be able to be competing. So that was neat. And then, yeah, talking to Fallon, I don't know if I've heard from any of the other barrel racers that I'm competing against there yet. I have a few friends that are at the semifinals that have qualified for the semifinals, so we'll see if they end up making to the American as well. I don't know. I hope to see Sherry Cervi and Mary Walker down there and hear from them and hopefully they'll have some good advice for me when I get there.
Absolutely. And, you know, looking at it, you're an exemption. Richie Champion won $1 million last year. There's even more pay this year for the second annual RFD-TV The American. What is Amberley Snyder going to do with $1 million if she wins it?
A lot of it will go to my family. I'll share a lot of it with my family. Then I also would love to get another horse in order to make the finals. That is one of my biggest goals, is to make the finals rodeo at some point. So some of it will go towards that, and then I need a truck. So some of it will go towards the truck as well. So between all of those, that'll probably take away, I don't know, a tiny chunk of it. How do you spend $1 million? I don't even know how to think about that. But
I know,
a
right?
lot of it will go to helping my family out.
Awesome. You know, and we just had something come in right here. It says, "Hi, Amberley. I just want to congratulate you on making it to the American. And just remember, no matter what the outcome, which I know you will do great, all your fans are extremely proud of you." That's coming from one of our fans listening right here this evening.
Well, thank you so much. That means so much to have the support from all of my fans, all of my followers. I mean, I wouldn't be here without them. I mean, they're the reason that I get to have this opportunity. And I don't even know how to repay all of them for all of the support and love that I've been given.
Yeah, you know, and we had a chance to talk on the phone a little bit earlier in the year, and you were out at the NFR. Does that get your blood pumping? Did you ever think that you would have a chance to be running at the American just 3 months, not even 3 months, like 2.5 months after seeing all of your idols run at the NFR?
No, I definitely did not even see this coming. I mean, Andrea Busby was the one that started it with Busby Quarter Horses. She was the one that started sharing my story with their followers, and told them that they should vote me in for the fan exemption. And at that point, I thought, what is the fan exemption? I don't even know what that is. And I got on and figured out what it was. She contacted me the next day and said, "Hey, I hope you want to go to the American because we're voting for you to make it." I was like, absolutely, I would love to have that opportunity. And it's totally grown from there, where this is like, a dream come true. It's something that I would have never imagined could happen right now, yet here it is. I mean, in less than a month from now, I'll be running down in Cowboy Stadium.
I know, you know, and that's just something that's fantastic. And there are a lot of people that have physical handicaps and physical disabilities that really are inspired by you. You're a motivational speaker as well, but we have people that are watching that may have some sort of limitations. What do you have to say to them, and what kind of powerful message can they get from you live right here on the Rodeo Roundup?
So for all those people that face challenges, because it's everyone, I don't think that you can exclude anyone from that list. We all are going to face them. It's just going to be in different areas of life, in different depths. But no matter what you face, you can overcome it. You can get up every morning and live your life the way that you want to. I mean, your attitude is one of the only things that you have complete control over. So no matter who you are and what situation that you're in, I mean, keep that attitude positive, because that's going to make a difference not only on you but on the people around you. So I would encourage any of those people to just get up and have a positive attitude and face what they have going on in their life with the best attitude that they can.
Absolutely, and you actually started with that great attitude all the way back in elementary school, all the way up through your high school career. I mean, not only being a great high school and college rodeo athlete, but what you're doing now is rodeoing when you can, which takes a lot of time and a lot of miles, plus finishing your student teaching. Tell us a little bit about that and about how that life has changed for you a little bit once you started student teaching.
So I am student teaching in Preston, Idaho at Preston High School, and oh my gosh, it's not even what you think about. I mean, you go through 4 years of schooling or 5 years of schooling, learning about how to be a teacher, and then you get out there and you start teaching, and stuff happens that you don't even expect. I mean, I love my kids. I want to go to school every day, and I have never had that feeling. I've never woke up every day and wanted to go to school. But now that I have these students where I feel like I have the ability and the chance to shape their minds and shape their growth, that's a cool feeling to be able to do that every day. So for me to be able to student teach right now, I guess gives me the opportunity to hopefully inspire and help, you know, our young kids that are growing up.
Absolutely, like you said, well said. But not only student teaching rodeo, but you fly all over the country doing motivational speaking. What has that meant to you, and what is one or two of the most memorable memories that you have from traveling across the country and doing your motivational speaking?
Speaking has become a huge passion for me. It's been a place where I feel like I can make that difference on the world. Everyone wants to be able to do that. And when I got in my car accident, my mom told me that I doubled my power. And I had no idea what she meant by that in the beginning. And I look on it now and I think this is what she meant. You know, she meant that I'm able to share my story with a huge audience that is nationwide. It is are even bigger than that. You know, I've gone up to Canada twice to go and visit and share my story there. Some of the favorite speeches that I've had, the first one that pops into my mind was midwinter meeting for the National High School Rodeo Association last year, and it was one of the first times that I was able to speak to an entire rodeo crowd. Oh, wow. That was neat for me because we were all on the same level. We all understood the passion that we had, so to go and speak to them was completely phenomenal. I've also been able to speak at an elementary school. That was neat. It was neat to speak to young kids and have them still totally enthralled with the stories that I shared and my experiences. I've had quite a few. I feel like every speech that I give, I always have something fun about it. And I'm just blessed that I'm able to share my story and hopefully inspire others with it.
Absolutely. And Casey, I think it's Hertel, is following us, and they say, I actually have a question instead of a comment. I'm thinking of taking up motivational speaking. What advice can you give for encouragement and to get started?
Well, Casey, have a story. That's all you have to start with, is you just have to have a story that you want to share and a story that can inspire others. And then you build upon that. I mean, I have my story as my base when I share, you know, in my speeches all around, but I have lots of other stories that I share along with that one. So you just have to have a message that you are so passionate about that you want to share it with everyone else.
Fantastic answer. And Casey, thank you so much for the question. Getting off the rodeo deal, which is fun because now we're getting to know the personal side of you a little bit. So awesome. Well, you know, and I know that you've got school tomorrow. You've probably got papers to grade, but we're just having a great time. So, I know I said 8 to 8:30 for you, and I know you're pretty much on a time clock, so I want to let you go, but I want to appreciate all the questions and comments that our viewers have sent in today, and thank you for your time tonight there, Amberley Snyder, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck and to take home that $1 million at the second annual RFD-TV's Road to the American.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the questions. I absolutely love getting them.
All right. Well, we'll keep in contact with you, and maybe we'll see you down there as the Rodeo Roundup is going to be covering that event. Maybe we can hook up and sit in a trailer and have a little comment for all of our fans one more time.
That would be perfect.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Hetland here with the RFD-TV The Americans fan exemption. Miss Amberley Snyder. Amberley, thank you one more time. Good night. God bless and great luck.
See you later.
All right. Oh, wait. Hertel is the pronunciation, LOL, Casey said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw him. I knew it was Casey.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and God bless, and good luck down there. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Check in next time with one of your favorite rodeo stars one more time on the next Google Hangout with the Rodeo Roundup.